Good day, welcome to Hunny Walia shows. I'm your host Sonal Fool. In the past, present and future, we bring all people from different areas, different expertise who are sharing their knowledge with us to tell us, teach us, mentor us what we can do different, how can we make our life, our society, our homes, our children safe. Thank you for your blessings, for your love. We are celebrating our first year. It's our first year birthday. And this, we have started a promotion. If you have a business, you have non-profit organization, or you are part of any organization, we are giving you 1 month free promotion without any obligations, and we will advertise your business. If you need any more information, please do contact us, email us, phone us, and we will be there to help you and promoting your business. Today we have Joel with us. He is a master electrician. He works with the principal safety. We will be talking to him about, as a normal person, as a homeowner or with the children at home, what we can do to keep our house safe, what precautions we should be taking. Welcome, Joel.
Thank you for having me.
Joel, when we talk about, like, I'm reading your designation as a master electrician, as an instructor, as a trainer. Tell us what, before we proceed, tell our viewers, enlighten me to what is master electrician is.
So a master electrician is essentially an electrician who has, after receiving their journeyman status in the province of Alberta, you have to work full-time as a journeyman electrician for a minimum of 3 years. Then you go back to school, you take a code improvement course, which lasts about 6 months, and then you have to write an 8-hour exam and pass that exam. And if you do that, then you get a master's designation, which allows you to pull permits to operate commercially in Alberta, to do both commercial and residential and industrial electrical.
Thank you, Joel. Quite interesting. So he has a vast knowledge. Joel has a vast knowledge about electrical safety, and he is also teaching with the principal safety. So principal safety, if we see what the background of principal safety is, the company is Alberta-based company, was established in 2009. They are teaching core courses, safety courses, and electrical courses. Tell us a little bit about principal safety and what courses you are teaching with them.
So Principal Safety is a small to medium-based safety company, and we've been around since about 2009. We basically specialize in courses that are custom tailored to the client's needs. Instead of having a generic course that could apply to anybody, we tailor our courses to the client's specific needs. And so we teach lockout tagout or hazardous energy isolation. We do arc flash awareness. We do fire extinguisher training. We do multiple programs like that. And a lot of times we will take an existing course and tailor it specifically for the client. So, Joel, you did mention about the lockout tagout, you did about the energy isolation, and then you did mention about the arc, right? Yes.
So they're all three separate, but they are connected together, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate them for a residential area as well as commercial, separate them. So as a residential, homeowner or a person who have children at home, and from toddlers to older generation, or your parents or grandparents, what precautions I should be taking to keep my home safe, especially related to electricity?
Okay, so the biggest thing that I see in homes is that things like extension cords. People will use extension cords. Make sure they're in good condition. Don't allow them to get cracked and frayed. Those same extension cords should have their grounds on them. They need to be intact. We don't want cords laying out in the open for people to trip on. And those are just like some of the basics. Obviously you don't handle anything wet. We make sure that cover plates and switch covers are in place. And for the most part, properly installed, electrical and the way it's installed in houses, because it's controlled by the electrical code, are generally pretty safe. But there has to be an awareness more than anything.
So when we are talking about, thank you for giving the information. Now we just spoke, or you have given us the information about the house, right? Like our home where we have children, we have parents, we have grandparents, how we can keep our families, our loved ones safe when we are using the electricals, Christmas lights, Christmas tree, all the decoration stuff, decorative stuff, or the birthday parties, when we use multiple quotes, how to keep them safe. Now let's go to the commercial side, because where we use more lockout tagouts, we use energy, isolations and ARC. Could you tell us a little bit one by one? So first question is ARC 1, right? The ARC course. What is it and how people can get benefit out of it?
So in the commercial and industrial area for electrical, an arc flash incident is a sudden release of energy. And that's really what it is. That energy depends on the voltage that was available, the amount of current that was available, the material that was involved in that accidental discharge. It is dangerous because it is a tremendous amount of heat, energy, the explosive force. There's many things going on all at the same time. That's what an arc flash incident is.
So when you're teaching them, so are you separating them from arc flash to lockout tagout, or they're all three as one?
Lockout tagout deals with working on a piece of equipment that's been de-energized, and you isolate the energy and you lock it out to make sure it can't be energized. In an arc flash incident, you're dealing with a live piece of equipment. So perhaps as an electrician, you're moving into a disconnect on the wall and you're turning it either off or on, and at that point you could be re-energizing a piece of equipment and you have an arc flash incident there. And those are the periods of highest risk when you're either de-energizing or energizing. Once you've de-energized, then the lockout takes into effect.
So if I understood correctly, when lockout tagout could be used with any company who has equipment, who has machinery, and when it's getting repaired, you need a lockout tagout.
Correct.
Arc flash is a totally a separate one. Which industries can get benefit out of it?
Where arc flash comes into play mostly, you see arc flash and arc flash awareness in production and oil field, and any kind of a production facility. Like here in the city, you'll have meat plants, you'll have food production plants, you'll have dairies, you'll have oil processing. East side of the city has a number of oil refineries. They'll all practice lockout tagout procedures, and they'll be part of their everyday operating procedures to isolate the energy, because that's what lockout tagout is isolating hazardous energy. Hazardous energy is just not electrical. There's many other forms of hazardous energy.
I'm your host Sonal Fool. You're watching Hunny Walia shows. Today we have Joel with us. He's a master electrician and he's a trainer with the Principal Safety also, who teach three different courses, including arc flash, lockout tagout, and energy isolations. He is giving us information, or I say he's sharing his experience with us, what we need to stay safe at home as well as at work. So to continue our question, Joel, could you tell us, like when you're talking about you are creating a courses or training courses, the client based, as per their requirement, as per their needs, or the experience of the staff they have. So if any company contacts you, what kind of questions you asked, what kind of information you need to provide you to create their program?
So we want to see what type of industry they're in, like what is it that they're doing, and at that point we'll talk to management, usually management or their safety team, and we'll see how in depth do they want to make this. Do they want it to be an awareness, or do they want it to be an actual certification for their staff? Because the different demands by the client will sort of dictate the length of the course and how in depth the course gets. The other thing is we'll also do a site visit, and I'm usually the one that does the site visit, and I will literally do an analysis of the hazardous energy that's present so that we address the hazardous energy that's on their site and develop guidelines for them to isolate it properly and address how to isolate it.
So when we talk about, you basically need the information and create the program, right? From collecting the information till delivering the course, how much time we are looking?
Depending on depending on the complexity of the course, Sunny, the course could be produced in as little as a month and maybe as long as 3 to 6 months. A lot of it depends on how sophisticated the client wants the course and how in depth. Do they want video in the course? Do they want animation in the course? Do they want practical application, or is it only going to be online? We're all aware of the new way things are done now when it comes to teaching. Many of us now learn online. Does the client want the course to be online, or do they want it taught in person? These are all questions that have to be addressed and that can affect the delivery of the course.
So now the circumstances, environment, or the regulations, needs are changing. So we are more leading to the renewable energy, right? Which could be solar, could be nuclear, different ways, right? So, and the commercial as well, residential, are changing their ways to produce the energy for home or the commercial thing. So how does that affect or impact the training?
The biggest thing I notice right now with the way that technology is going is our demands for high voltage and high current are starting to change. With the advent of LED lighting, you can light your entire house now and probably consume a tenth of the power that you did 10 years ago, when all we had was incandescent and fluorescent. Energy is being used more and more efficiently all the time. Because it's being used more efficiently, the incidences, and in my mind the incidences are going to be reduced because you're not having to use such large volumes or large quantities of power in order to do the same amount of work.
So Joel, my next question is, because now the kids, the young generation, they are coming in the trade too. And like in our age group, passing the information, right? Handing over, because we will be retiring soon, like, in a couple of years. And then we will see it will be a lot of gap between the knowledge and the experience, right? So are you doing anything do you have, or you are training or mentoring any new electricians who are coming in this trade? Reason being why I'm asking you this question, in South Asian community or in our community or in Edmonton, we have a lot of electricians who are coming or completing their education, or they have immigrated from different parts of the world, and they are settling down here, but they don't have the code or requirement here, but they have the codes and requirements from where they have come from. Are you running, or Principal Safety is running, any mentoring program also to help those people?
No, as of right now, we don't run an actual electrical mentoring program. The way the electrical industry works is electrical energy is pretty much the same worldwide. What changes is voltages and frequency. An electrician, say from India, will already have all of the basic training, and he understands how electricity works. He understands how transformers function, all of that. So he doesn't need a tremendous amount of upgrading in order to function as a proper electrician here. He's already probably 80-90% of the way. The biggest difference for him will be slight variations in the code. What's acceptable in Canada, and that's what he has to learn. He can take upgrade courses at NAIT. Also, if they're an apprentice, they will work with a journeyman, and that journeyman will pass his experience on to them. So I've worked with electricians who have come from India, and I've worked with them and I've mentored them in the different production facilities that I've worked in. And they're good electricians. They're actually very, very well trained. If they had any deficiencies, I would say it's in the actual experience, Sunny, but their education and their knowledge of electrical is absolutely top shelf.
So Joel, my next question to you is, like, now we're talking to commercial and residential, right? There, electricity is used in both, but how we use it, or the voltage wise, is two different concepts. Do you have any awareness programs for lockout, tag out, how to watch the hazards related to the electricity, and how to make them aware, the children's or the family members. Do you have any awareness program for the family base too?
No. Our lockout tagout programs, or our hazardous energy isolation, are directed to commercial and industrial clients. It's a good question, Sunny, because right now I don't know of any electrical awareness program other than there are programs that the government puts out in the way of information, and they have electrical safety for homeowners that you can find online if you want to look for it. But principal safety, no, we do not provide that because honestly, for us, there is no demand for it. None.
So like now we're talking about the demand, like the demand is like what the client wants, right? And then based on that you create the programs. Yes. Or you deliver it. So what programs you currently have with principal safety?
We do the hazardous energy isolation or lockout tagout. Mm-hmm. We do arc flash awareness. Mm-hmm. We do propane handling and awareness. Mm-hmm. We do aerial work crew overhead high voltage awareness, okay, which is usually aimed at the telecom people, shock cable, the telephone people like Rogers and Telus and those companies. We also do underground. So we do an underground hydrovac awareness. When you have a hydrovac crew come in to locate lines and expose lines, they're exposed to that high voltage from those underground cables. So we offer that course to teach them the awareness and the principles of safety around buried electrical and utility cables.
So if any, like from the community or from the Alberta or Edmonton, anyone who wants to get hold of you, principal safety, or they want to inquire about more courses or the dimensions or way of delivering, how to create, how they can contact you?
They can find us on the internet. If you go to our website at Principal Safety, the phone number is on there, and you can contact Principal Safety, and a lady by the name of Crystal Agus will take care of you.
Thank you, sir. And with your permission, as we not your permission, but with your permission, which I'm just taking it over, you have not given me, but on behalf of Principal Safety, I will say if you have any quote you required from them, and if you say you have watched their show at the Hunny Walia show, you will get some discount. Joel will tell us how much discount it will be.
That depends on the program. It could be anywhere from 10 to 20%. It depends on, again, what it is that the client is asking for and what they require from us.
Thank you, Joel. So yes, I agree. Joel, I really appreciate you are watching Hunny Walia shows. We have a master electrician and a trainer from Principal Safety who has agreed. If you are looking for any courses or information and you contact them, you can find them on the website. And if you having issues or cannot find it, you can contact us and we will pass their information to you or pass your questions and concern to them and get your answer. And yes, he has agreed. Thank you, really appreciate Joel and Crystal. If you mentioned when you are asking for the quote, if you mentioned you have watched their shows at Hunny Walia shows, you will get from 10 to 20% discount depend on the course. Thank you, Joel. Joel, in the end, what message would you like to give to our viewers?
Always to have what I consider a cautious awareness of electricity. I've been doing this for over 35 years. I still treat electricity with respect because electricity is an amazing thing. It can do many things for us, but you have to respect it and you have to take care when you're working around it.
Thank you, Joel. Joel has given us a lot of information about the electricity, how we can work around electricity safely, what we should be watching, what we should be doing not to get injured or electric shock. It is also important not only in commercial sites, it's also important in residential also, especially if we are setting up or using a lot of electrical codes, setting up Christmas lights, Christmas trees, birthday parties. everything. But if you have more questions around electricity, the courses, principal safety offer, please contact them directly. If you can't find them, let us know and we will pass your information to them. You're watching Hunny Walia shows. I'm your host Sonal Fool. In the end, I would like to say thank you for all your gratitude, your love, your care which you have given in the last 1 year. We are celebrating 1 year's birthday with you. If you have any questions, please contact us and we will promote your business free of cost without any obligation for a whole month. Thank you. Have a good and safe day.